Hello, Eddie. Hello and welcome back to Art Therapy with Jenn. Today I'm working in my Dark Dystopian themed magazine collage art journal. If this is your first time tuning in to this series on my channel, I do a different page each week that is a new chapter, if you will, exploring this dark dystopian theme and world, and we kind of do a little bit of an imagination exercise as well, and seeing how or what story comes about as the images and the words come together. Do they all fit together or what have you? Because I don't know why, but I just love to have like narratives to my pages and stories, and we just have a good old time with it. There's no right or wrong answers, and if you want to see the previous chapters or pages in this journal, I'll have a playlist on my channel page, link down below, and in an iCard as well. So you can check it out from there and see the chapters from the beginning. I also have just the images of them on my Instagram at Art Therapy with Jenn. But anyway, let's get into this page. As you can see there, I've started putting down my background. And for this one, we're going to be doing a lot of reds and golds, and I don't know, I've had this image for a long time that's all this like computer circuit board, and I know those are usually green, but I had it in this red, and I want to think, if I'm remembering right, it was from a fashion magazine, and they had like jewelry on top of different colored like circuit boards, and I finally was like, today is the day it is meant to go on this page. And I just kind of went in my little stash that I picked out and looked at things I thought would go with them. And I really, that red just, I don't know, it just evokes a certain feeling, doesn't it? I really like it. And now I'm going to be fussy cutting this castle church. I don't know, it looked like a very pretty building in Europe that I am just too ignorant to know which one it is. But in my story, it's going to be a mysterious building, you all know. And then there's this brooch that I'm fussy cutting as well that we're going to be putting in kind of behind as an accent to that really ornate old world looking church castle place. Y'all, I live out in the boonies in Tennessee. I don't know these fancy terms like this, but I thought it looked very interesting. And then on the top right, I'm going to be putting this image that has flowers. It might be roses kind of growing around. It looks like almost a police light or something. So very interesting. And that will complete our background. Here's what we're working with, our starting off point. And let's grab some people pictures and see who we're going to add. So I'm going to be adding two. The first one is this girl looking out the window, and I kind of cut all around it just to where it's just her in the window, or she's almost like in a glass box. And I kind of imagine that she's looking out of one of those windows in that castle. I don't know. That's the feeling I get. And she's in this really fancy like gold metallic dress. She's looking out. And she's looking a little worried. And then I'm also going to add this girl. I really like the red background, and I don't know, her whole like look just evokes kind of a feeling for me. Like it makes me want to think something. And I think she might perhaps be in that building as well. I don't know. We'll see. Now I'm going to go in and, well, first I'm going to show y'all the page with the people on there. Interesting. And then I'm going to be going in my stash of words, my little box of words, and just pulling them out. I go through every single word in that box every time I go to do a page, and I pull a ton out and I place them around until I just feel there's certain ones that should go on the page. So at the top there, I'm putting two different bits together. It's going to say it's time to transform, and do you feel it? Interesting. And I'm going to throw my glue stick everywhere. I usually edit out those parts. I roll my glue stick, drop it, everything, y'all. I am clumsy as all get out. And then I found the word fortress. So it's not a castle or a church. It's a really ornate fortress. Wonder who's it's housing, who built it. What y'all think? And then I'm going to be putting down the word vault. That's quite ominous. I know we had a bunker in a previous chapter, so now we're going to have a vault. And then at the bottom, coming off the girl's picture there, I'm going to put two bits together, and it's going to have nobody. Then we'll see you now. So nobody will see you now. And now is in like bold, to where I guess it denotes some type of emphasis there. Fortress. Maybe it's a prison. I don't know. Awful pretty prison. But then again, what the chapters are telling us is that everything that's pretty is not all that it seems. And then at the top on the next page, we're going to be putting the new metropolis on top of that flower image and that little road map image. And then I took words, and it came from one piece, but I cut it up a little better to fit on the page. And it says, just when you thought you were out. Sounds like she was trying to get out, and I guess a fortress isn't that easy to just leave. You can't just swipe your badge and walk out. Really interesting. There I am, glue stick struggling. Just go with it, y'all. Sometimes my hands don't do what I tell them to. And then at the bottom, and these, I left the quote marks on there, so it says, someone said this, it says, the very thing that was celebrated was not protected. No right to rest, no right to eat, no right to say no. That doesn't sound very good. Sounds downright dystopian. And let's just take a look at the page with the words on there. I'm really digging the reds. Really fun. Now I got this bright idea. I'm not saying it's a good idea. It's probably a really bad idea. But I just felt like I wanted to add like some splatters on there. Almost, dare I say, almost like blood splatter or something on the page. I don't know. I just felt like that the gory details of the art journal spirits were calling me, and they're like, you need to add some splatter. So, and I'm doing it on this white desk of mine. Like I said, I made a decision. Was it a smart decision? I doubt it. And I have these leftover paper bits where I crop pages down to fit in journals that I make, and I just hold on to them, and they're really good for stuff like this. So I'm covering up the page because I need to test out some different materials of mine, and Kitten's helping me there. Lord of mercy, that's all I need is her paw to get into something red, right? But I'm trying out these different things I have on this page to see if it gives me that effect. Now I had this watercolor brush type marker. It is a piece of crap. It did not work well. This was one of those brands that I got suckered into. A lot of YouTubers were promoting, and yeah, I bought these brush markers, and well, as you can see, it is dry as my hands in the winter. So, not giving me that effect I'm looking for. The tones on there, but it ain't what I'm looking for, and I don't want to have something that I gotta wet down to all get out, because magazine and moisture They are not friends, as I've said before. So that is out. Next, I'm going to try some watercolors from my little cheapo beginner watercolor palette there. And the color was pretty good. I have to remember that in the future. But, again, it's just too much moisture without putting something like gesso or something down to kind of act as a barrier on that magazine. So, and I wasn't about to fool with all that. This is already fooling with a lot for me for a magazine page. Then I had some India ink. So I tried that, and the tone was pretty good. So that was kind of my top contender at this point. Like sometimes, y'all, you just have to bring your supplies out and play around with them. And then I did like a drop, like a splat, and it was like, ooh, we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. And then I had just some good old Apple Barrel bright red paint. And I thought we'd try that because I was thinking, well, maybe I want to outline the words or something as I usually do. And the color was really good, but where it's such a matte and kind of thicker paint, it wasn't giving me those shapes that I was going after, and I would have had to water it down. And then I brought out the really bad decision as far as my white desk goes. Spray inks, these Dilution spray inks, and I think this was Postbox or Postman Red, and that gave me that look I wanted. So I just covered up the parts of the page that I didn't want to get the spray on, because you never know where these daggone things are going to spray. And I really liked that kind of spritz it had. So that worked out quite well. And I had like alcohol and cleaner at the ready, because I just knew some of them little spritz were going to get on my white desk. That's alright though. The way this desk is designed is flooring tiles. And you know, they're like $1 a piece. And if it gets real bad, I can just take them suckers off and stick other ones down. They're them self-stick'ems. I needed another piece of paper, so I took my front part of the box and my Advantage for the cats. And then I want to do a little more precision work with that color than what you can do with the spritz. So I just took a brush. I took a dark bristled brush because I knew it was going to dye anything red if I used a white brush. And I just went right in that bottle, y'all, and I just started dabbing that around. And it really brought that effect that I wanted. And it's very, like, it's not opaque when it goes on there and dries. So you're still able to see all those magazine details underneath, if that makes sense. It's not something like, you know, the acrylic paint like the Apple Barrel would be, where you would just see the red. This is very transparent, although very pigmented. And so I just went on to town, just going around, making little details, and I was really liking what that was adding to it. One nice thing about these papers and stuff too, y'all, you can always use those as stuff in your collage journals and stuff later too. I have had a lot of fun with painted papers in the past. And then I had some still all up in my brush, so I just went on and painted that little spine area red, because why not? Ain't nobody gonna tell me not to. I'm gonna do it. And then I decided to take that India ink that I liked earlier, and I can't remember if this was just red or bright red, and I wanted to get more of that kind of, oh, and there's Miss Kitten again, she's supervising. All up in my business. But I wanted to get kind of that run you would get, because that spray, it gave me a good splat, like spritz, but I really wanted like a, there, y'all see it there toward the bottom corner, like I want those runs, like it was truly like blood running out somewhere or something. All the happy thoughts in this journal. And I do on my desk now, don't worry, there is one of those clear cutting mats from the Dollar Tree under there, so it is catching. Oh, that's not going right on my desk. But let's take a look at what that turned out like with the red. I dig it. I'm glad I went to the trouble for it. Sometimes I just get the feeling to do something, And I just think it made this page special. I didn't go any further doing like things around the words or anything because I really wanted those details of the red to stand out. And I think it made it just a really unique chapter in this book. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Fortress, maybe? No right to say no. Nobody will see you. Time to transform. I think I might lean toward fortress, but I don't know. What do y'all think about this page? I've thought and thought and thought, and so far nothing's really come into my mind yet. But that's the fun thing about this book. When I look back through it, because I always make it a point before I do a new chapter, I flip through all the old chapters, to kind of get myself in that mindset and get myself in that groove, and things always pop up, and I may have had ideas about things before then that I've changed my mind because of other chapters, or maybe I see something different. I don't know. What do y'all think? Oh, well, I guess I am rambling. I'm going to get on off here. It is already dark here. My goodness, it's already getting dark earlier. That's one thing I do not like about this time of year. I love it when it doesn't get dark till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And now, I'm good to get till 7. So it's going to mess with me. But anyway, I hope y'all are having a fabulous start to this, fourth quarter of the year. And I will see y'all soon with the next chapter. Or actually, wait a minute. I should have a bonus video coming up this week where I found a couple magazines that have some really good spooky and ghoulish type images, because I always get questions about that, and I do a little flip through. That should be coming up sometime. I'm thinking either Sunday or Monday. I have it ready to go. I just have a couple little doohickeys to do on there to get it publish ready. But yeah, I will see y'all soon regardless with another art video. Bye guys.